that is designed to keep Black Americans from achieving freedom and success, that they don't care if you don't achieve your dreams or not. So we've seen a lot of trends, a lot of the same kind of topics or writing from everyone.
Yeah.
Now they're in a Mexican standoff.
In Howard, I saw a lot of people that were writing Black people have to work twice as hard to get, half as much, whatever the line was from Scandal. And I'm like, how did you guys see it? But it's literally how they feel. Definitely have to do twice as hard, twice as much, but twice as hard to get half as much as what other people in this country are getting, specifically white people. Our learning objective for today: learners will be able to cite textual evidence to support images and conclusions drawn from the text. Yes, again, for the third day in a row, just press highlight, copy, and paste in your virtual notebook, and we're keeping it pushing. Yes, we're working on inferencing again, because yes, inferencing is a part of everything that we do in text study. When we read nonfiction, when we read fiction, when we read poetry, when we're deconstructing text and what it's supposed to mean for us, when we're working with dramatic irony and what we know is going to happen next or what could happen next, inferencing is all part of that. It's a foundational skill that we work on, okay? Our exit ticket is going to focus on page 62 to 64 in the text. And it says that Ruth is struck senseless with the news in its various degrees of goodness. I love that line. And various degrees of goodness and trouble. So beautifully written, right?
My favorite exit ticket.
Yo, real talk. What evidence on pages 62 to 64 suggests that moving will bring goodness, and then what evidence will suggest that it'll bring trouble? What you guys are going to do is use your inferencing to compound or really connect with what's said in the text to confirm what you believe what's going to happen in the text. Okay? What potential good things are, what the potential bad things are.
And we're going to break that down. Inferencing, thinking, steps. What I need you to do, because we know that as we get older, you don't need to write the entire sentence that we give you in the note. So in your virtual notebooks, what I want you to do is write these 4 sentences the way it works for you. For me and Mr. Antoine, we highlighted the green and red parts that we felt were the most important for us. If you feel like that's the most important for you, then do that. So for example, number 1, you have to closely read to identify the key words and precise ideas to answer the question. This needs to be an absolute yes before you move on to part 2, right? So if I'm gonna write this, I'm just gonna put identify keywords and ideas, because that's what I need to know to make sure I get number 1. Number 2, have I combined something explicitly stated in the text with something else known about the topic, often but not always from elsewhere in the text? This also needs to be a yes. If you are still thinking about, have I actually identified the keywords? Have I combined what's explicitly stated with the text with what I know about the topic? If you are unsure, that means you haven't really gotten to that point, that you should move on to number 3, and you need to make sure you get that part ready to go. Number 3, is my inference confirmed as sound by evidence to support all parts of the inference? Also needs to be yes. Does the evidence support it to a T? A lot of times we find that we just pick any evidence that kind of just has a couple words that we think works with the inference, but we need to make sure the inference supports it, because this is your case, this is your claim. If I'm gonna ask you, why do you think this evidence is important, and you say, well, they mentioned mama, that's not good enough. Something that works, that is supported specifically by your claim. And then number 4, is my inference contradicted by any other evidence in the text? This needs to be a no. As we start writing these paragraphs, and we've been writing a lot this week, as we continue to write, you need to answer that question afterward. Is this contradicted by another piece of evidence? If not, then you are good to go, and this is a very strong paragraph, or a very strong inference.
Absolutely. Remember, guys, when you're taking notes, you're writing it in short form, right? You're not writing the entire thing, so you lose time as you take your notes. For number 1, I would put identify keywords plus ideas. Identify keywords plus ideas, right? For number 2, I would put the exact inference formula, right? Inference equals, right, what I read plus what I know equals what I inferred, right? And inference is what you read, what you know, and that equals what you infer. There's your inference formula that we've been working on. Number 3, right, is the evidence confirmed as sound, right? So I would put, hey, does my evidence make sense? Simple. And then number 4 is my evidence contradicted by anything else? Yes or no? Make sure the evidence isn't contradicted by anything else in the text. definitely go back and revisit this so that you can continue writing it down.
Good. Can we have a reader? I'm gonna have two readers read half of these. Just Samir, you're gonna read